It was supposed to be a fun, high-energy night on Jimmy Kimmel Live, exactly the kind of chaos Jack Black thrives in. But the moment he stepped onto the stage, something was off. The usual wild spark in Jack's eyes was there, but beneath, it was a simmering tension. Fans expected laughs, impressions, maybe a surprise song, but what they got was a clash of egos, a misunderstanding turned verbal standoff. Jimmy cracked a line early in the segment, a joke about Jack's career that, while meant to be playful, landed like a slap. Jack paused, his usual grin faded, and instead of brushing it off with humor, he leaned in, both figuratively and literally. "You want to run that back?" he asked with a raised eyebrow. The studio crowd chuckled nervously. No one knew then, but this wasn't going to be the interview they remembered for laughs. It would be remembered as the one that went too far. Jimmy, trying to save face, waved the moment off. "Come on, you know I love you," he said, clearly uncomfortable, but Jack wasn't laughing. "You say you love me, but you make me the punchline every time I sit in this chair," he replied. There was weight in his voice, not volume. Disappointment, not anger. Kimmel, caught off guard, tried to pivot with another joke, this time poking fun at Jack's weight, a common gag over the years. That was the breaking point. Jack's smile disappeared completely. He looked at the audience, then back at Jimmy. "You've been making that same joke since 2005. Maybe it's time you write something new." The audience gasped. This wasn't the silly, Tenacious D version of Jack Black they expected. This was the real man behind the performer, standing up for his dignity. Kimmel, visibly rattled now, attempted to regain control of the segment. Okay, let's talk about the new movie," he said. But Jack shook his head. "Nah, let's talk about the fact that comedians think cruelty is comedy," he shot back. The crowd was dead silent. This wasn't just a celebrity moment. It was a message. Jack went on to talk about how late-night shows often disguise mean-spiritedness as humor, how even guests are expected to laugh along as they're reduced to caricatures. "I'm not here to be your clown," he said, and in that moment, it was clear. This wasn't a meltdown, it was a stand. A stand against lazy jokes, against being typecast, and against being disrespected in the name of ratings. You could feel the control slipping from Kimmel's hands. He looked to the crew off camera, hoping for a cue, maybe a rescue. But Jack kept going. "I came here to promote my work. I poured my heart into that film, but all you care about is turning me into a meme," he said. His voice didn't shake. It was focused, direct, and piercing. For a man known for wild antics and over-the-top humor, this version of Jack Black was unfamiliar, but powerful. He wasn't yelling. He didn't need to. The weight of his words did the heavy lifting. He had flipped the script, and suddenly, the comedian was delivering a masterclass in self-respect. Kimmel, with nowhere to go, attempted to salvage the moment. "Jack, we go way back. You know I'm just messing around," he said, forcing a smile. But Jack didn't budge. "That's the problem, Jimmy. You think just because we've known each other for years, you can say anything. But I've grown. I've changed. Maybe you should too." It was brutal honesty, the kind that slices deeper than any roast. The audience sat in stunned silence. No cue cards could fix this. No laugh track could patch it. It was raw, real, and totally unexpected. The vibe in the studio was no longer playful. It was historic. A boundary had been drawn right in front of millions. Then came the final moment, the walkout. Jack looked down at his lapel mic, unclipped it, and placed it gently on the chair. "I'm done here," he said simply. No theatrics, no shouting, just the quiet confidence of a man who knew his worth. As he stood, the audience erupted, not in laughter, but in stunned awe. Some clapped out of instinct, others stayed frozen. In shock, Kimmel, for once, had no comeback. He tried to laugh, to brush it off, but the damage was done. The camera stayed on Jack as he walked off stage, head held high, not a trace of regret in his stride. The internet, of course, exploded within minutes. Clips of the confrontation flooded social media. TikTok users created breakdowns. Twitter, debates raged. Headlines blared. Jack Black confronts Jimmy Kimmel. Comedy legend demands respect when the joke goes too far. Fans rallied behind Jack. Many had loved his comedy for decades, but now respected him on a new level. What he did wasn't just rare, it was brave. In a world that often demands performers play nice, Jack decided to play honest instead. And that honesty hit harder than any joke ever could. Backstage sources later revealed Jack had been growing tired of the same late-night treatment for years. He had voiced concerns in the past, but they were brushed off. That's just how Jimmy is, they'd say. But this time, Jack had had enough. He wasn't trying to cancel anyone. He was trying to reclaim his narrative. Meanwhile, Kimmel's team scrambled to edit the footage for re-airing, but it was too late. The full moment had already gone viral. No amount of trimming could erase what the world had seen. A comedy legend refusing to be disrespected any longer. Kimmel issued a lukewarm apology the following day, calling Jack a dear friend, and insisting there were no hard feelings. But public response wasn't so quick to forgive. Many called out the pattern of behavior, not just with Jack, but with other guests over the years. What once passed for edgy humor now looked like outdated mockery. Jack, for his part, remained mostly silent. A single post on Instagram said, "It all," a photo of a mic on a chair with the caption, "Know when to walk away." No need for explanations. The image spoke volumes. It became an icon overnight. In the end, Jack Black did more than walk off a talk show. He reminded the world that even the funniest people have limits, and that respect matters more than ratings. His stand wasn't just personal, it was universal. Artists, entertainers, and fans everywhere took notice. It wasn't about cancelling Kimmel. It was about calling for better conversations, better boundaries, better comedy. And as for Jack, he walked out not as a guest rejected, but as a man elevated. Not kicked off, but standing tall, proving once again that when Jack Black speaks, the world listens.